Hello, welcome back. So I have a few things I need to do today, considering that tomorrow is my boyfriend's birthday, and guiltily, I do not have my present yet, so I need to venture out and get something soon. And I have a few ideas of what I can get, one of which was another sweater for him. And I did not want to make it obvious for him by going to his wardrobe or getting the sweater out and looking at the tag to see its size, so I actually have another little trick up my sleeve. I took a picture of it a while back with the tag, so I want to see if I can find the size of it again, so I can just get the right one. Okay, I have it here. Size L. First I want to start by giving this a quick clean. These two are going upstairs. Alright, it's looking a lot better already. There's one more quick thing I forgot to do before leaving. I kept extra vouchers for the store that I want to go to in this binder here. So let me see if I can... Okay, I found the voucher codes and hopefully I'm able to use one of them. I am back from town. Unfortunately, a lot of the shops that I wanted to go to were closed, or the things that I originally wanted to look for, they did not sell them, so I found something else in the end, which I hope you will like. But for now, I'm just going to put on a little show on the iPad and then pack these up. I have a plastic bag that I'm going to put it in to help kind of keep it clean. There's one done, and now on to the next piece.
I can do that.
And the other one done. And now I can hide this at the back here. I was originally planning on making us an extravagant mac and cheese for dinner tonight, but fortunately did not have the time, so I got some Pokeballs instead. Okay, these two are done. I want to first take a quick shower and then we can dig into these. I'm just going to move things to the side. Actually, I got 2 forks. Now on to the next part, making the pancakes. Got the pancakes ready here, and some cheese for us to put on them. Some bananas ready for us? It's a new day and I'm standing here next to the Christmas tree, ready to tackle the next task, which is cleaning this up and putting it away. Now, I'm a little embarrassed to say that it may or may not be the beginning of February, so I'm assuming that most of you will have put away your tree already. But if for some reason you're on the same boat as I am, then perhaps there are some tips or takeaways that you can use when you're putting away your Christmas tree or putting away your ornaments. Okay, so I'm back with some comfy clothes on, ready to tackle putting this away. Now, so I'm going to use this couch to lay the ornaments, but if you didn't have a couch nearby, then you can always lay out a blanket on the floor and use that to protect the ornaments when you put them down. But first thing, just quickly moving these things out of the way.
Right by the stick, great man, I love it.
Okay, some Top Gear is playing in the background, so now I'm just going to basically carefully take these off. Yeah, so in the other video when I showcased putting the tree together, I showed this technique of using this wire to hold the ornament in place if you've lost that string that usually comes with these kind of ornaments. It actually held up really nicely. And I also find it a lot easier to take off. You just twist it open and voila. All the ornaments that I could find are placed over here on the couch. And now the next step is to take off the light. So the goal is to take it off while keeping the light intact and not letting it get all tangled. Okay, everything is off. Okay, all the lights and the ornaments are taken off the tree. But first, before putting them away, I need to go to the basement to get the boxes and other things I need to carefully put them away, so I'll be back in a second. Okay, I am back with the packaging supplies. For the putting away the lights, I'm gonna need this thing. Okay, so when you're putting away these lights, especially if they have these kind of double-sided strings to them. So I found before that if you try to carefully wrap it around like this, like how you would do with other electrical wires, like a charging cable, they can easily get very entangled, and then when you try to take them apart, they just end up getting more entangled. So what I did last year, which helped a lot, is I grabbed an old piece of rod from an old light, but anything like a stick or a thin piece of wood or something like that. Just find something a little bit sturdy and long enough, and that'll definitely work for this technique. Is very simply, I'll just grab one end of the light. So I place the light with one end on here and then carefully showcasing where the other end is on the other side of it. And I'm just going to carefully wrap it around, trying to minimize the entanglement as much as possible. And I'm just going from the bottom to the top, and then I'll go from the top to the bottom again, and just kind of repeating that process until the entire cable light is on this rod thing. Don't make it too tight, but also don't go too loose over it either. Okay, so sometimes it might get a little bit tangled, or it looks like it's going to get tangled, so I like to, at this moment, carefully just lay it out again. Okay, I finished wrapping the light around this thing. Okay, no, just a bit of a miscellaneous tip. I like to kind of do these things, especially with things that decor pieces that you'll put away for a few months and you won't really get to see again. Now, before putting it into some protective wrapping paper, or bubble wrap, I should say, I'm gonna take a picture of this thing so I can refer back to it if I need it. And now the last thing is to wrap it up. I recommend keeping some sturdy bubble wrap. And then taping it together. Okay, so first thing done, that's ready to go back into the basement. One extra quick tip that I wanted to mention with these lights before putting them away is I added a note on top saying that some of the lights are broken and use with caution, because I mean, these lights still work and they have worked the entire time and I've had no issue with them, but in case I buy other lights, or I give them to my sister or back to my grandma, something like that, then that person can always read this note and decide for themselves if they want to try using them or perhaps throw it away and get other lights. Okay, so before putting away this tree now, I'd like to do the same thing that I did with the lights, and that is taking a picture of it. I was kindly able to borrow from my grandma, so again, perhaps if my sister wants to borrow it next year instead of me, then she gets to do this picture, see what it looks like. And I know that in other households, some people might have 2 to 4 different trees around their house. So if you take pictures of all the different trees, then you can kind of refer back to them and perhaps see, okay, this tree could go better in that room, or perhaps I can donate this tree. So now, while it's still up and it's bare, I'm just gonna take this opportunity to take a picture of it. And then alongside that, I would also recommend taking a picture of the box or the original label if you still have those. So then, for example, afterwards, by taking a picture of this, I can take note of that the tree is 1.80 meters. Alright, now that all of that is done, it is time to carefully take this off and put it into the box. And I found one more ornament. Okay, maybe I should just do one final check that there aren't any others. I think I got them all. So thinking about how you would put together a tree, I'm going to put the smallest piece down first, then the medium-sized one, and then the biggest one at the top. And then as a last step, the stand at the bottom. And then at the very last step, are all those extra accessories and the instruction booklet and those kind of extra things. Okay, this is also a bit of an old box, so it's not in its best state anymore, but in terms of just putting it into a garage or something like that, then it works. So, next thing, the tree is also done. Okay, the tree is in its box, ready to be taken down in just a second. But before I move on to the next part of putting away the ornaments properly, I'm just going to give the space a vacuum. First, I'm going to unplug that extension cord. And now onto some vacuuming. Oh, before you start vacuuming, of course make sure that none of those metal hooks have fallen onto the floor and that you're going to vacuum up those bits because that won't be so good for your vacuum. Okay, now moving on to organizing and putting away these ornaments. Now I want to try doing something different this year than just wrapping them up and putting them into one box. So first thing I would recommend in order to organize your ornaments would be to categorize them by color. For me it was quite easy because we didn't have that many to begin with and they were all in this white silver color theme anyway, so first step done. And now as a second step I'm going to organize them by size. So I'll put the larger ones on one end, to the medium sizes, and then to the smaller ones, and then as the last step, the more decorative, pretty ones. Sorting them by size was super easy. It's not super necessary for this amount because there aren't that many, but now on the other hand, if you had lots of different ornaments, then I think it could be quite handy if you had your ornaments organized or sorted in this kind of way. So that next year when it comes to decorating the tree, then you can easily just find, let's say, the biggest ornaments first and then start with those, working your way around the tree and just making sure that the large ornaments are spread evenly across the entire tree, and then you can move on to the medium-sized ornaments, and then as a last sort of decorative touch, you can move on to the smaller ones. I finished sorting all the ornaments by size, and then I also took a picture of them so that I can also refer back to those. And now the next step is to wrap them up and put them away. If you had a lot more delicate or nicer ornaments, then I would recommend using one of those proper ornament storage boxes. But for myself, I'm just going to put them back into where I originally took them out. So I think I'm going to put the larger ones in here, if it fits, on top of the medium-sized ones, and then the smaller and the more delicate ones in the other box. And I don't mind keeping the hooks intact on them. It just makes it easier for next year to hang it back on the branch. Okay, I have finished individually wrapping up each ornament and putting them into these two different boxes. So I put some of the medium and larger size one in this box, and then for the other one, some smaller and the more, I guess, the nicer ones. And I added a label at the top so that those two can be distinguished from each other. And now it's just time to close up the boxes, and then I can take this into the basement and then the task of putting away the tree is almost complete. I just grabbed a bigger bag to make it easier to carry them into the basement. The last step is just to put back the things that were here before. That was it. And now I think that the couch can be pushed to the side a little bit more, so okay, I was a little late to the party in terms of putting away the tree. It's finally done, and I wanted to showcase a few tips on properly putting it away, and hopefully you got something out of it, either for this year if you still have to put it away, or perhaps for next year.